I have a baby's head. That will be our canvas for today. Well, hello there, I'm Détroit. I know you have at least one question you want to ask me right now, but some things are better left unsaid. Let's just assume this baby's head appeared as it is in my life. Now, this doll is actually the remnant of a friend's Halloween costume. They offered me the head and I took it without thinking of what I would do with it. It's been a few weeks and I finally have a purpose for this head. For some reason, I didn't think of drawing on it until now. Last time I drew on something other than paper, it was wood. I asked you on what surface I should draw next, and I'm pretty sure nobody could have expected a doll's head. Not even me. And yet, here we are. I have a Staedtler Lumocolor permanent marker that is quite nice and actually works great on plastic. It's the pen I also used to draw on a mug, and so far it hasn't let me down even once. Maybe I should draw with it when I'm on paper too. Maybe it will be better than all my other pens. I doubt it though. I will say it now instead of at the end of the video, so listen up. If you have an idea of a surface I could draw on, drop a comment. Additionally, you can tell me your drawing ideas, stuff in general you want to see me draw, no matter the style or the medium. And subscribe, that should be a given. You can note that this is definitely not my usual camera angle for drawings. In fact, the camera here is kind of bothering me a lot. My drawing hand is half rested on the tripod and the focus of the camera is literally the size of the head, so I can't move around even a little bit. It's not the best camera positioning to draw for sure, but I also kinda like it, I think. It's like you're with me, seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Isn't that fun? Actually, you're a bit lower. I don't have a good GoPro type camera, or I could put you on my forehead when I draw. That would be fun. It would be very strange though. Instead, I have this camera the height of my chest, maybe? It isn't in front of my face, which is good. Thankfully, I do not have to draw a detailed pattern on the baby's head while looking through my camera screen only. I can see fine above the camera. The placement is still original. I think it looks cool to watch, even if I probably won't use it for regular paper drawings in the future. The tripod is too small to be able to be angled down and see the entire drawing. This is why I usually use this camera for the side view. If I used a bigger tripod, then I wouldn't be able to see my own hands. And as you probably guessed, with the camera I usually use for the top-down view, I couldn't see anything on the baby's head, which is why I used only this camera. Anyway, enough about cameras. I am drawing only on half the face, so about a quarter of the head. And with this pattern, tattooing the entire head would just make it grey, so it would be faster to just color it grey. I want it to pop a bit, so I think half a face is enough. Anyway, it took 28 minutes to do that, and initially I wanted to make a real-time drawing video and chat along. Actually, that's not true. I wanted to make a normal time-lapse video, but when I started drawing, I felt like talking along the process. But I had already started without recording the audio, so that would have been weird. Plus, I would have to set up my microphone and plug in my headphones to cut the ambient music too. And so I couldn't do a proper real-time recording. And I naively thought that I would still feel the same impulsion to talk freely into a mic after the drawing was done. That isn't the case. I still can't talk without having an outline, which means the drawing process videos take as long as I have things to say. From experience, I know I should write about 1400 words to make a sufficiently long video. That corresponds to about 12 minutes of recording, which I then edit down to 8 minutes, more or less. 1400 words, it's like my default length for writing. It doesn't matter what I write, I usually do it in sessions of 1400 words. After that, I don't know what happens, but I kinda run out of juice. For a drawing video script, past this point I usually have nothing more to add. Making the text longer would be nice, in order to have a longer video, which is something I would like to do more often, but after that 1400 mark, I really have to force myself to write something useful. It's not like I'm writing a story here, I'm just commenting on a drawing, so there is a limit to how much interesting stuff I have in stock. And with that said, I should go back to talking about the drawing. This pattern I'm using is my default pattern. I've used it countless times, the only thing that changes here is the baby head factor. It's a semi-organized arrangement of lines. It has small circles, small arrays of straight lines together, but mostly it's the natural jerking motion of my wrist that makes this pattern. It's quite dense, as I've said earlier, and that's why I didn't draw over the entire head. I just wanted to give this baby a tattoo, and since the surface is very strange to draw on, I needed a fail-proof pattern. I only have one baby head, not two, and I can only use a permanent marker on it, so I chose the easy path with a pattern that you can't really make mistakes with. You don't want to mess up a tattoo, right? This thing is for life. I like tattoos. I really want to draw more tattoos in the future, as in maybe find a photo or draw a body, then artificially tattoo it in Photoshop. I just want to design tattoos, I guess. I also wonder how long it's gonna be until I get a tattoo of my own pattern. I'm not sure I've ever said it on video, but I do have tattoos. I have two of them, both on the inside of my left arm. There is room for a third, right below the other two, and I think one of my patterns would fit quite nicely there. Even though I like tattoos, I'm very picky about them, especially my own. Getting a tattoo for the sake of having one is not something I like. My tattoos both represent something different, as in different periods of my life, and even different countries. More than that, both designs have meanings associated with these experiences, and even more importantly, they go well together. At the same time, I do understand wanting a pretty tattoo just because it's pretty. If it goes well with the rest, even if it doesn't represent as much, I think I would consider it. Another key point for me is the fact that even though my two tattoos were done by professionals, they are still my design. I went in with my own drawing that they then refined depending on what was possible or not. For example, one of the designs had a few small lines a bit too close to each other, so the tattoo artist helped me redesign it a bit to avoid that. But in the end, they are still something I made myself. Oh, I forgot to mention, both my tattoos are line art. I don't want shading on my skin. Except for a few artists I've seen on Instagram, I usually don't like shading on tattoos. And even if I had one of those artists at my disposal, the tattoo then wouldn't fit my other requirements, such as meaning, originality of design, and fitting with the others. So I only want line art. And since black lines line art is basically what I do every other week in my sketchbook, or in today's case on a baby's head, I guess my own abstract style would work on my own skin. It would have a story for sure. It wouldn't be representative of living in another country like the other two, but it would still be linked to this thing I'm doing regularly, and you're actually watching. I've been doing that for more than 2.5 years, and if you think about it, it's quite a lot. Let's calculate something very quickly. I currently have about 230 uploaded videos, I think. As a very basic approximation, let's say its drawing took 2.5 hours. Script writing, recording, editing, etc. until the video is finished is also 2.5 hours, which is a very conservative estimate. 230 times 5 is 1150 hours, or 47.9 days. I have spent about 50 days straight working on this YouTube thing. I think it would fit my definition of a meaningful experience that would leave a mark on my skin. I guess whenever I get a tattoo of my own design, I will let you know. I really want to talk more about tattoos though, so tell me in the comments if you would be interested to see a dedicated video where I design tattoos. Maybe I should also straight up draw on my skin next time. Subscribe if you want to see when it happens. Like the video to show the baby your appreciation of his life choices, and I'll see you in a few days. Bye!